Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon review. Tonight we are previewing, of course, the huge friendly at Ibrox tomorrow night between Rangers and Newcastle United, and also covering the latest news. It's pretty much as is at the moment. There's no real exciting transfer news to bring you, bar than what I said on the Daily News. Now, it's interesting because we've had quite a bit of to and fro and a lot of comments today regarding the channel and things like that, which I'll come on to in just a moment. But it doesn't look as if this KK deal is going to go anywhere, Alex. I mean, there's been reports this morning that Newcastle, they're not in the financial. They don't have the clout, basically, with FFP and everything to make this deal happen, which is pretty much what you said last night.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. I think Keith Downey was the only professional one. He came out and addressed the fact that Sky Sports had obviously put the link up, but they had referenced. So I think I mentioned last night, it came from Saudi or from somewhere in the Middle East, the original link. It then got picked up more so by Italian journalists. And that was who Sky rehashed it from Corriere dello Sport or whatever they're called. Yeah. And Keith Downey put that. He put, look, it's not Sky. We're just reposting paper talk. That's all it is. So Downey addressed that for Sky, which was great. But every journalistic outlet, media outlet under the sun has reposted this as their own exclusive, may I add, which is ridiculous. And just no, unless one person knows something that we don't know, unless we're going to have 4 or 5 outgoings and all of a sudden sanction this enormous deal, like, yep, that's more than sort of, the Anthony fee for Man United. It's an absolutely enormous fee. There's not a chance, and it's just very unprofessional for all of these publications to have been posting these so-called exclusives that are just all stemming from the one singular link from a few days ago. It's just weird. It's just for clicks.
Are you getting to the stage now, Billy, where you are a little bit frustrated with what's going on and about the lack of signings? Or are you just taking it as is and just wait and see what happens?
No, because as I've always said, nobody knows who we're after, how much it's going to cost us or anything. I mean, this KK one was ridiculous because had Napoli had said no, where are we going to go to next? We can't obviously pay that money. Obviously, we have that money to spend, but we can't spend it through the guidelines that they have, FFP. And if they say no to that, then where do we go then? I mean, obviously, if we wanted him and FFP didn't exist, we could buy him. But FFP doesn't exist, and we're playing strictly by the rules. Lots of others aren't, by the look of things. But we are, and this was never going to happen until the player comes to the door, through the door with a scarf on and sign a contract. And there's been a board agreement that has been on the yellow ticker on Sky, deal in principle agreed. Until that happens, and nothing's happening.
Yep. Very quiet on the Western Front on Harvey Barnes as well. Reports saying that he's agreed personal terms with Newcastle United, but again, the sticking point is the transfer fee between the two teams. Of course, we remember that Leicester wanted 50 million quid originally for him. They were never going to get that in a million mundas. However, it went down to 35. Rumour has it that Newcastle just want to pay 25. Again, talking about Eddie Howe wanting players in before they went to the US, it doesn't look like that's going to happen either now. So it is going to be a long ball game by the looks of things, Alex.
Yeah, it was potentially always going to be like this. I think we were quite fortunate to get Tonali through as quick as we did. That could have been something that dragged on all summer. We were quite lucky that it was all quite easy. I think it helped with the player side as well. But it is what it is. We are shopping carefully. I think we're trying to make the money stretch as far as possible because we've got several positions to fill. We need to strengthen the squad accordingly. So we're being careful. And we've got to stick to our guns in terms of our budget. So if we've got a valuation of our own valuation of a player, we might have a little bit that will stretch, and beyond that, we won't. We'll walk away. So down the list we go, and we'll get who we get. I trust the scouting so far. It's most of the players we brought in have been exceptional. So there's been a couple of misses, such as your Chris Woods and Matt Targett's maybe not been as good as we'd hoped. But generally, there's no reason to worry. I think it just, and I don't think there's any reason to be frustrated with the club either. They're just doing what they can. These are the rules we have to play by, and we're trying our best. They want to win as well. Like they want to earn as much money whilst having the best team and winning as much as possible, all as quickly as we want it, because it's in their best interests to do that. So
I mean,
it's fine.
I mean, look, again, I mean, if the season started tomorrow, we've still got a very decent side. It's not like we've got a poor side going into the new season. It's just the squad depth, which will concern a few people. But
we won't need the depth immediately, but we'll need it in before the window closes, of course.
Well, the Harvey Barnes thing, Paul. With the Harvey Barnes thing.
Yeah.
Leicester have created that situation that they created with Maddison, haven't they? They've got two clubs supposedly in for Harvey Barnes, and it's going to push the price up. They did it with Maddison. They waited as long as they could. Spurs joined, paid what they wanted. It seems the same with West Ham doing it with Harvey Barnes. So it's Leicester could have sold Maddison to us if we were indeed after him back in January when we offered money for him. Harvey Barnes again could have sold him to us, but they're waiting for other clubs to come in, create a bidding war.
Junior Turner's in the house. Junior's just got a new single come out, of course, regarding Newcastle United and his European adventures. We'll get Junior on shortly on the show, and we'll preview that song with him on the show with us. So I'll be in touch shortly, Junior, with that, and we'll get it played out on the channel. Ian Spoons, good evening to you. JB, good evening. To coin a phrase, good evening. Mark says it's telling that neither club nor agents have denied the links with KK. I'd forget all about that one. 99% of the fans knew that wasn't going to happen. We just don't have the funds or the pulling power yet. I'm not so sure it's the pulling power. It's obviously, like the guys have said, we've been very, very careful with money because we know that how much we're going to be scrutinized straight away and looked at for FFP because of the money that we do have at our disposal. Gareth Bascom, thank you very much for your £5 super chat. He says, this whole KK smells like another diversion tactic. And up the A1, thank you for your £2 super chat as well. There's no comment there, but thank you very much for that. James says, better to miss out on a player we want than be forced to get one that we didn't want. Brian said, it's like Ruben said, we need to make our pennies go further than the other teams. Agent Tech Stream says, I think we have to be careful not to start bitching like Twitter. Yeah, look, it's not bitching. It's just conversation on here. We're not into all the bitching stuff. And, we all have faith in what the owners are doing. It's not, I think because things have progressed so quickly with qualifying for the Champions League, etc., everybody's thinking big name stars and things like that. The owners are going to take the time and make sure they get the right ones in. They're not going to mess about. They're not going to be pushed around by anybody either. And I think that's important to say because we know what other clubs are like. Where Newcastle come calling and the interest is there straight away. Think, dollar sign sticking up straight away. It's not like that. Newcastle won't be pushed around. As frustrating as it might be for some fans, that we haven't got more players through the door yet. That is just the way it is. And we have to abide by that, and we have to just keep the faith with the owners and make sure that we give them all our backing instead of... There is some ridiculous tweets and stuff like that going on social media about, they're not up to it, they don't understand football, they don't understand how it works, they can't get the deals done. How the hell do we know that they can't get the deals done? They got the Tonali deal done, they got the Bruno deal done, they've brought in Isak as well. Now, that says to me that they're very capable of getting deals done, but they're not going to be pushed around, Billy.
Yeah, but from someone that we're obviously on the outside looking in, I wish it was a level playing field. We see Everton, who still haven't been punished for something that happened in the lockdown year. They've still not been punished. Aston Villa, year in, year out, they're spending much more than we do. Even in the Championship, had the most expensive squad ever in the Championship. Steve Bruce had them fourth and bottom or something ridiculous. Yeah. They've spent year in, year out much more than us. They're ninth in Europe over the past decade for spending. As far as I can see, they've had one major sale in Grealish, maybe one or two others, but nowhere near FFP. Worried about that. They don't worry about it. They don't seem to adhere to it. But I guarantee you, if we didn't adhere to it, our case would be sorted and done within 3 months of happening. Absolutely no doubt about it. And yet here we are still waiting for Everton's punishment to come through 3 years after it happened. And it's wrong. It's not a level playing field at all.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Big Joe says the cracks are beginning to show. What cracks?
I'll put my trousers up, sorry.
Well, there you go. Apparently West Ham have dropped out of the race for Harvey Barnes, which is good news for Newcastle. Look, apparently if you know the personal terms are all agreed now, then it's once the clubs agree a fee, then that deal can be done literally immediately if the personal terms, like we've been reported, have been done and Harvey Barnes is happy to move and everything's done and dusted. Once the clubs agree a fee, that's it. It'll go through a lot quicker. But again, we don't know. We can't confirm or deny that because we just simply don't know. We're going off what the media says, and sometimes we know where that can lead you. But I think West Ham, if they've announced that they're pulling out of the deal, then that says to me that it's pretty much Newcastle that's his destination. We just have to agree a fee, and that's not easy. Zishan, thank you for your $9.99 super chat. Starting to get a bit frustrated about our club's valuation of a player. For example, Harvey Barnes' value is around 35 million, but we want to pay 20 to 25. We also can't take the pay out of other clubs. What do you make of that? The
valuation of a player is whatever we want to pay for him. There's no valuation of Harvey Barnes. I could say he's worth 80. Someone else might say he's worth 100 million. It's whatever you're willing to pay for him. There's no valuation as such.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. It just depends. It depends on the interest. Like if a lot of other clubs have already bought wingers, then it wouldn't surprise me if somebody could pick Harvey Barnes up for 25, 26, 27 million. It depends on the interest and it depends on the selling club's need for finances. Like it's a living, breathing thing, the transfer market, and it completely depends on a number of factors. So just valuing him at 35 million, it's nonsense, really. It just is. If you've got a 26-year-old winger who's quite competent in Ligue 1, who's just banged in 13 goals, and he's been reasonably okay at goal scoring for the last few seasons, and people are just going to say, "Oh, but it's Ligue 1." Yeah, but so. Well,
the thing is, Yano makes a point here saying we've got 30 bloody players. I really don't understand giving new contracts to Dummett and Ritchie. Now, of course, we spoke about this last night. I don't really understand the deal for Dummett. I never will, quite frankly. I think it's bizarre, if you ask me. It is a very, very bizarre one. Matt Ritchie, a little bit different. I think Matt Ritchie kind of, when he's been interviewed about his new deal and said that, there was a chance he'd be leaving, but then Newcastle United, he did have that option of an extra year. And I think it's going to be more of Matt Ritchie around the coaching role. He's down as a player, but by the sounds of everything, the way he conducts himself in the dressing room and around the younger players and things like that is why they've decided to keep him on. He's been here 8 years, it's a long time. And I think it could be the same for Paul Dummett, but at the other end of the scale, I don't get it. I don't. And I don't get how Dummett wasn't involved yesterday. At Gateshead. I've read the possible team lineup for tomorrow, and it's a very, very strong lineup. Dummett isn't involved again. I don't understand. But
I understand a contract for at least one of those two. I don't understand the contract for both.
Yeah, one or the other.
I could understand maybe the one, but I don't get both.
It is a strange one. Seattle Geordie says, here's one, gentlemen. I know it's fantasy football. Would you do, if you could, a straight swap, Bruno for KK? Love the show as always. No, I wouldn't swap Bruno for any amount of money in the world at the minute. I think he is one of the linchpins of the side. And to be honest, the wingers we've got at the moment, if they're the wingers that go into the new season, then I think Maxi, Anthony Gordon, we can play Isak out there if we want sometimes. Miggy, Murphy. There is a lot of talent there, but yes, we need to expand that talent and get better because of where the football club is now. Brian says, when were the beast we're going to be in the future, remember these mother chuckers, make them the bastardos beg on their knees. Yeah, the players will want to come to us, absolutely. Chris O'Neill says, no one knows how much we have to spend We're all guessing. The board could be projecting future sponsorship in the pipeline. All the players we are supposed to have missed out on, we have never bid for. Absolutely.
Apart from Madison, who we did bid for.
Well,
yeah.
No, well, we didn't in this window, though. I think that's what he means, Alex.
No, but we have bid for him in previous windows, which proves that there was interest at some point.
Yeah. And Predator makes a good point there, Billy. We are still paying for Mike Ashley's running of the club.
100%. 100%. All of those boardings around the ground, it was free. Didn't pay for a single penny for that. Millions and millions of pounds of advertising he got for nothing. It is biting us on the arse now, even though he didn't spend anything while he was in charge. You know, he was an average of £10 million per year over the 14 years he was here.
Yeah,
but because there was nothing coming into the club, sponsorship was hardly, you know, payday loan.
He wasn't interested in that, though, was he? Because the sponsorships that did come in, you know, weren't very high amounts of money. It was just going straight in his pocket because he used the club simply as a cash cow. All the Sports Direct sponsorship
and a massive advertising hoarding worldwide for his Sports Direct shop.
The issue is the contracts that he gave. That's the problem.
Well,
we were truly buggered if we didn't get taken over, because we'd have gone down into the Championship with a squad that wasn't particularly strong. I don't think he was strong enough to get back out of it. And the entire squad was on wages between 35 and 65,000 per year. Which is enormous for the Championship. And everyone, as we're seeing now, we're doing shows and podcasts where people have still got contracts going all the way to 2027. These were contracts given by Bruce and Ashley at the time. You know, we're nearly 2 years into the ownership, and we've still got players with 4 years left on their contract that weren't signed by the new owners. It's madness. The contract lengths are absurd, and that's the problem at the moment.
And by the way, Clone Lad makes a point. This day 4 years ago, of course, Newcastle appointed Steve Bruce as their manager, getting him out of the job at Sheffield Wednesday, which, well, still sends shivers down everyone's spine. That
I mean, we did guesstimate when Ashley left the club that our FFP would be really hard because he hadn't spent anything without taking on board that he hadn't brought anything into the club either.
He hasn't brought anything in. Yeah, we didn't realise that. Absolutely, Billy. Very, very good point. Jan says, to be honest, all we need is 2 more players to get to the January window and then get 1 more. I
mean, that is a fair point. We don't need controversial, and a lot of people aren't going to like this, but we don't need the entire squad for the entire season. If there's a player that might be available in January, you know, there's no reason you can't add a sprinkling, maybe a player in January. It's not the best way to go about business, but with judging by how things are at the moment, it might be useful. So it's an option at least.
Yeah. Alexander says hello from Skinny Slim's Pub, home of the Oklahoma Maggies. Hello to you guys out there. Hope you're enjoying the show. Mark says, I think the club are reflecting the thrifty nature of Tyneside. I think the bargaining is great. Well, look, they're not going to be pushed around. Absolutely, 100%. Rachel says, good lad, Alex, on the best lager there with Moretti.
I'm waiting for the Tonali special edition to come out.
Yes. I think the company said they were going to do something like that, didn't they? So
they did,
it'd be interesting to see if that does actually happen. Right. Just before we move on to the Rangers game tomorrow, I just want to bring up a few little administration things because today I did put an announcement out that Jack had left the channel. Now, Jack was taken on basically to cover, illnesses. Billy wasn't comfortable presenting at the time, and that's all water under the bridge now. We have, Billy's back to his best again, and it was just he had a little wobble. He's admitted that, and so everybody has a wobble. But Billy's now he's got his mojo back, and he's kicking ass, so to speak. But Jack, I had a good conversation with Jack last night because I hadn't heard from him for a few days, and I just wanted to check in and make sure he was all right. And basically, the conversation went along the lines of he's got his exams He's going into his final year at school. Remember, he's still very, very young, Jack. He's going into his final year at school. He's got his own channel as well. And he's not going to have the time to commit to doing everything. It's an important time in Jack's life now with exams and going into his final year. And basically, that's all it was. That is the only reason that Jack has stepped down. Now, I've read some things on the Facebook page today, which Susan had to get involved because it was a bit ridiculous, saying that something fishy is going on this channel, that there's been fallings out and the channel's not going to be here in a few weeks' time because of arguments and behind-the-scenes fallings out. Jack left because Alex smirked whenever Jack spoke.
I mean,
Jack
I did, but I love Jack and it's fine.
Yeah,
like
exactly. And, you know, Jack was getting grief because of his hairstyle. I mean, utterly ridiculous because, you know, Jack was giving out as good as he got. And that's why I brought him in, because he had that kind of character in front of the camera and he's got a bright, bright future. And the reason we just said, right, okay, you know, we wish you well, Jack. No problem at all. He's still going to come on the fan forums. He's still going to make appearances when we get a group of people on. It's not like anything awful's happened and there's been fallings out. But what I've read today, it did piss me off a little bit, I have to say. You know, talking about, well, Danielle's left. Billy was going to leave, but Billy came back. You know,
am I next?
Yeah,
Ooh,
well, yeah, that's exactly the words that we used. Is Alex going next?
No, by the way.
There was no fallings out with Danielle. Danielle is still a massive part of the Toon Review family. She's in the chat a lot of the time watching the show. Danielle, as usual, with a lot of people, had to commit to her job, which was far more important than sitting in front of the camera. You know, at this stage, you know, we can't all go full-time on the Toon Review. That is a goal, and we've made that known to everybody that is a goal that we've got in the future. But at the moment, in certainly with the way the cost of living is and things like that these days, jobs come first, right? And Danielle left for that reason, okay? Because she couldn't commit because she was working more hours and obviously she was doing nights and things like that, and it wasn't easy for Danielle, okay? But she's always in the chat. Now with Billy, there's been rumors going around that me and Billy have had a massive falling out. I do not know where the hell that's... Well, I actually, you know, we'll not get... I have a feeling, but me and Billy... I look at that guy down there on the bottom of the screen, like I do with Alex, as a brother. We are all three of us are best mates. Yes, we'll have some heated debates on the show, but if we didn't have that, it wouldn't be the same Toon Review. You know, we always agree to disagree, but I tell you what, these two guys with me now are like brothers to me. There's been no fallings out. There has never been any fallings out. In fact, Billy has always been openly honest. You know, when he didn't want to present, he explained it to me. And we said, right, no problem. Alex has had stuff to do behind the scenes with obviously his job and his partner overseas, trying to get her back in the country, etc. There's a lot goes on that people don't know about. But I tell you something, we are always there for each other. When one of us needs the other one, we're backed up by a fantastic backroom team with Susan and Rachel and Fez, Ryan, Tom, fabulous people. Right, who help us out behind the scenes like nobody would ever know. But the comments about me and Billy having a row, Alex falling out with Jack, it's just a load of bollocks, right? There's nothing like that gone on, right? We are still friends with everybody that has been a presenter on this channel. I see Jade at the matches from time to time and always give her a big hug when we see her. And, you know, there's nothing like that. And it's people putting stuff on social media like that cause the problems and the rumors to start.
Some people will get conspiracy theories out of anything. This is the Toon Review. We're not the 1969 Beatles, for fuck's sake.
I know.
The only smoking going on this
channel. Time for
the only smoking going on this channel is this, and it's a vape. It's not smoke. It's not a cigarette. It's not smoking. It's vaping.
Yeah, well, exactly. But Billy had to step. Billy almost stepped down a couple of weeks ago because he had to earn more money because his bills were going up. His wage wasn't, so he couldn't. He had to take more hours on at work, and that prevented him from being on the Toon Review. Luckily, he had a chat with his manager. He sorted it out to where he could do extra hours that didn't affect him being on the channel. And when it does, he works instead of coming on here. That's how life works, guys. So I just wanted to put that to bed because it's absolute nonsense what I've read today. Absolute nonsense. Yes, I suppose the bigger the channel grows, we get more well known, and that's great when people come up to you at the games and want photos and things. It's brilliant. But like Billy says, we're not the bloody Beatles. We're not Take That. It's the Toon Review, and people will come and go. However, what I will say now is we aren't taking anybody else on. It is the three of us moving forward now for the new season, and it will be that for the God knows foreseeable future. It's the three of us now, because we've all got plans for this channel. We've got plans for the podcasts on Patreon. We've got plans for everything. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, like I've said, and we just want to bring the best possible content to you. But when I read stuff like that about people trying to make up things, saying there's something fishy, etc., going on the channel, it makes my eyes pop out, and it just makes me laugh as well. But on a serious note, that's how rumors start snowballing. And the rumors about Jack and Alex falling out was as funny as I could see. Me and Billy, I don't think we've ever had a crossword, and there's never been anything like that. So, I've looked to Billy for some advice in the past, as Billy's rang me a couple of times for advice and stuff, and we've had good conversations over the phone in the past, Billy, and what people will never know about. And that's what happens when you've got the camaraderie that we three have, and that's not going to change. It's not going to go anywhere. So please stop putting rubbish on that, or Jack's left for this, or Billy was leaving for that. It was simply for work purposes. Jack has stepped down simply because it's a very important stage in Jack's life coming up now with exams and his final year at school. Very important that he needs to focus on that 100%. He'll continue to do his own channel, which is going very, very well, and we wish him the very best with that. But he will come back on here for fan forums and stuff. So anyway, I just needed to clear that up because it was a farce, basically, what I'd read today.
Plus, camaraderie isn't a new striker we're going for AC Milan.
Yes. Well, wasn't there a player for Everton similar name to that?
Camaraderie.
That's right, yes. Yeah, you see, it's still there. It's still locked in. 12th man Toon, thank you very much for your $4.99 super chat. He says, I've had a few goes at this YouTube stuff and it's hard shit. Jack has had a lot of balls doing what he's doing at such a consistent rate too. Good luck, Jack. Absolutely well said, buddy. David Smith, $4.99 super chat. Thank you, my friend. I think it's great that all you guys dedicate so much time to the channel. You guys are working up to 5 to 6 nights a week for our entertainment. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we do put the live shows on in the nighttime nearly every night, but these two with me have full-time jobs to go to during the day. I'm recording videos and editing videos during the day, which takes 3 to 4 hours. So there's a lot goes on. We put a lot into this. Forever On, thank you for your $2.99. Imagine all the people living life in peace. Indeed, my friend. And Seattle Geordie, thank you for your $10. I am thinking the wrong person came through Jack's bedroom door. Maybe the villain from the Screen movies. We'll miss the lad. Just glad TTR is live. Thank you very much, guys. Really do appreciate that. Right, let's move on to the Rangers game tomorrow. Now, like I say, there's a few little news snippets about possible team lineups tomorrow. And the frightening one that I've seen is they've all got Carl Darlow starting. I mean, I know Nick Pope won't because he's still recovering. He'll play a part in America, but he's still on recovery with his hand. Where's Dubravka? I mean, nobody's saying anything. There's nothing being said about Dubravka. Do you find that a bit strange, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things that the journalists could have asked. Really, they should have prepped this a little bit more, so we could have had this information. There's been a few bits here and there, articles and tweets about people have bid for Dubravka, but there's nothing concrete. It's all sort of speculation and conjecture. So we'll have to wait and see. And I don't want to rush into things, but I was arguably, am I impressed enough for Karius to be number 2? I don't think it's fair to make that assumption, considering how good Dubravka's been for us for many years, and especially he was very good in that the final game of the season as well. I think it'd be a little bit unfair for me to say Karius should be number 2 based on just a few good ball rollouts at Gateshead. Maybe we need to see a little bit more.
I think that's harsh, Alex. He made a good save and he collected 2 crosses.
Yeah, but mate, it's it's half a game. Yeah, but we can't disregard Dubravka's time with us and say Karius should be number 2 based on
that's not what
half.
I meant. I think it's more of, does Eddie see Dubravka as the number 2 next season, or does he
possibly, see? Is he on an extended holiday? Is he got a little niggle? Is he actually in talks to go somewhere else? Who knows? This is something, again, that the journalist could have asked. There was a lot of people out there. There's a lot of these journalists, and I'm going to be a little bit harsh now. There's a lot of you all over Twitter that are all happy to be journalists and all setting things up and doing things. Ask the damn questions when you get the opportunity for you. It's what you get salary to do. Do better. I don't think it's good enough to be. I'm not saying I could do any better because we get time to sit here,
haven't we?
But we get, credit where credit's due. We get time to sit here and prep for these shows. We're not in the moment meeting big personalities. We haven't got to get it right straight away. We can just talk. We can prep this. I'm not saying we could do any better necessarily. However, if it's your job and it's your profession, there are so many unanswered questions and so many things that should have been asked recently. People have had the opportunity to do that and not done it. And it's a little bit frustrating. It's something I've mentioned to Keith Downey before when we had him on. They have the opportunity to do this, and it's in their best interest because it's going to get more clicks for them. They're going to get more engagement because they're going to ask more insightful questions. It's literally win-win for their career, for us as fans, because we get more information. The only person it probably rattles is the manager and the people that they're interviewing because they're trying to get more information out of them. But that's they allow journalists to go in and have media sort of interviews and days, and that's part and parcel of football. So I don't know.
Billy, I know you're not a big fan of Dubravka, are you? Because you've made that quite well known last season that you're not sure about him. Where do you stand on him now? Obviously, he came in for the Chelsea game, and I thought he played really well. He made some very, very good saves in the final game of the season. But there was no pressure on him, really, was there? It was the last game of the season, no pressure, but he wanted to perform, and he certainly did. But where are you? Is it Karius for you as number 2 next season? Would you be happy with going into next season with Karius as number 2?
I would, yeah, absolutely, I would. I think he shows a level of calmness playing the sweeper keeper role that Dubravka rarely has done. He did against Chelsea, like you say, no pressure on the game. And I don't think Martin Dubravka wants to be a number 2 any club. He wants to be a number 1. And he's an international goalkeeper, and he's got every right to think that. I don't think Martin Dubravka will be here next season, if I'm perfectly honest. I think I'll find a club for him. You
think he'll be away this summer?
Yeah, absolutely. I just don't see him wanting to be a long-term number 2. And Nick Pope is obviously the number 1. He's one of the best keepers in the league, if not the best.
Yeah.
So Dubravka as number 2, don't think he'll accept that. I think he'll be on his way. And if I'm perfectly honest, I'd sooner have Karius number 2. I'm not saying that Martin Dubravka hasn't been a great goalkeeper for us. He has. But the system that our club plays with now is different to what it was when he was a first choice goalkeeper. He's expected to do a little bit with his feet. He can't really do it. And Karius can.
Interesting. Warren Dinning, welcome to Members Club. Warren, thank you for signing up to the membership. We really do appreciate that. Very kind. And you are now into the members' draws and things. Gareth, thank you for another £5 super chat. He says, your channel must be successful if you get accusations like unbelievable fan base making a drama out of something so small. Yeah, honestly, it's crazy. But hey, look, we're not going anywhere, and we love doing this, and we love the interaction we've got with everybody that follows this channel. I couldn't think of anything better than doing this, talking about the club we love on a daily basis. It's fantastic. And I wouldn't have met the amount of people that I have and the wonderful backroom staff that we've got here without YouTube. So we will go for as long as you want us, basically. Davey says, feel sorry for the staff, but I'm hoping Cashley's new store in the Metro Centre flops. Oh, yeah, it's just opened a big one, hasn't it? Just next to the Apple store. Yeah, well, I don't think it will because people always need a pair of Lonsdales. Just last-minute pair of trainers and stuff like that. To be fair, I go into in that shop for pairs of shorts and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I don't think of Mike Ashley when I'm in there, because if I do, I'll just vomit everywhere. Pedro says, is anyone worried yet with the club not having a lot of funds? Are the players we bring in, if any, going to be good squad players? Well, yeah, look, tomorrow's game against Rangers will be a very strong Newcastle United. I think, we're under no illusion about that. And we're probably going to see all the big guns play some part in the game. Now, that will it give us an indication of the level that we're at? Probably not. I wouldn't say so, because it's only the second preseason game. But the squad we've got at the minute, Billy, I'm not panicking.
We have no reason to panic. We've not lost anyone from the squad that finished fourth in the league last year. We've added to it with fantastic quality in Tonali. It's the big players' first game since pre-season. We have to remember that a lot of them have had a very small pre-season, so the fitness levels aren't going to be as low as what it would be if they'd finished in May, for instance.
Absolutely.
Tonali was playing 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting a good performance against Rangers tomorrow, albeit it's going to be a really hard game and a massive step up from what we had Saturday.
Well, the thing is, Alex, I mean, it's rumoured that Anthony Gordon's going to be starting as well. Now, obviously, he's literally had no summer break. I think he went for a break when the season ended, and then he was straight into the England camp for the Euros. So he hasn't had a lot of time off, but he probably won't mind that, will he? Because of what he said at the end of last season. He wanted to come back just as fit as the rest of the squad and play a bigger part this season.
Yeah, it'll be fine. He didn't play that many minutes last year, so he was getting used to it. Let me have a look at how many minutes he actually played. Anthony Gordon last year, 1,500 minutes. 1,582. Yeah, he didn't play enough minutes to be absolutely knackered. 1,500 minutes plus the under-21s Euros. He's a young lad, full of energy. He'll be fine. So, yeah, it'll be a good run out for him. But we'll see where he plays. That'll be interesting.
Well, I was actually going to put that question to you guys, which is, this is what we talk about before games, is where a player's going to go. I haven't seen Miggy much in the training photos. I don't know whether you guys have seen him. I haven't seen him. I didn't see him on Saturday either.
Yeah, I've seen him.
All right. Okay. Well, there you go. One of us has seen him.
I think him and Tonali have actually been pictured together quite a lot. I don't know if they've got some sort of. I don't know if Tonali can speak Spanish or Miggy can speak a bit of Italian, or they've kind of just bonded over. I don't know.
Bonded over a pasty. The thing is, I mean, look, I think the right-hand side still needs addressing. I'm still very worried about the fact that we don't have a natural right footer there, apart from Murphy. I just wish we had that option.
The plan, though. I think the plan is we want another left footer on the right-hand side, so we've got two inverted wingers.
Well,
I don't think we're looking at. I don't think we're looking at the right footer on the right. That's why. That's why all of the left-sided players we looked at are all right-footed, because we're going for inverted wingers.
Yeah. Well, good point. Stephen says Jack survived the Titanic, so nothing fazed him. I don't think Jack did survive, did he? If I remember the film.
Spoilers if you've not watched the movie yet.
Well, Jesus Christ, you're only 20 odd years on from the film, Alex. I think it's okay to give some spoilers away.
It's longer than that, isn't it?
Yeah. Davey says, I'll never forget Brexit means Brexit. I nearly said breakfast again there. Yeah.
1997, Paul. It was 25 years ago.
Well, there you go.
Years ago.
There you go. We all laugh when Alex says anything, says Bill, with a laughing emoji. Night and E Gaming says, Jack even said on his channel tonight, it's because he wanted to prioritize school and his channel. Think it shows how grown up he is that he decided to do that. Yeah, exactly. And thank you for saying that on your channel as well, Jack. Much appreciated. Local Hero says, sensible choice, Jack. I'm sure the door will be open in the future. Good luck with next year. James says, there's nothing wrong with Alex's smirks. He is allowed to smile. It's not a crime. Mm-hmm. Well, the way he's been lately, it's a bloody joy when he smiles. I mean, that's why people put these raw steaks in the emojis now when they talk to Alex, because they just like to feed the lion. But there you go. Ryan says, people just love creating beef off the smallest things. Indeed, they do. Fez says, ooh, the thumbnail's different today. Am I leaving, Paul? Yeah, my God. Fez didn't do the thumbnail for tonight's show. Does that mean he's leaving the channel? Oh, no. Fez was busy working. doing his job and couldn't do the thumbnail tonight. I will punch him in the middle of the face for that when I do see him, because I thought I was done with having to do the thumbnails, having the professional Mr. Graphic designer guy there. But he will be doing the rest of the thumbnails for the rest of the week. So there you go. Unbelievable. Brian says Danielle's always in the chat. She is. When she's not working, she's always here. But there you go. Yano says 23 or 24 players, including Dummett. You've gained nothing. The homegrown players have to be first-team quality to be worthy of inclusion. I mean, are we going to get an indication tomorrow of maybe a starting 11 for the season, or is it too early to say that?
Yeah, it's too early yet.
Yeah, it's way too early.
Because what I'm thinking is the Cellar Cup, we know what that's like. He plays two different sides for 2 days. So he's not going to give us an indication. Well, he did last season, didn't he? Give us an indication of maybe what his starting lineup was going to be.
Because we got the starting back 5 and then the starting rest of the team spread across 2 matches.
Yeah, but we didn't see the actual starting 11. So maybe it's a possibility that we see one of the American games where he plays a real strong starting 11 just to gauge. He's going to have to play one game as his starting 11.
I mean, we can't lose to any American teams because I will never live it down. Alex, we have to beat all of them 5-0 at a minimum.
Alex, we're not playing any American teams. We're playing Premier League.
We're not even going to throw in the odd friendly. Are you sure they're not even going to sneak one in? I know we've got this funny Premier League thing where we're just basically playing Premier League
teams that we're playing. We play Villa, Chelsea, and who's the other one?
I bet there'll be some news drops of, we've played a behind closed doors game against this funny team.
Well, I'm not sure, Alex, because we're playing every couple of days, mate. So I don't think that's going to be a possibility.
I mean, we've got enough squad players.
Well, we have.
Although I don't think Paul Dummett should be running on AstroTurf.
That's a very bad idea.
Immediately.
But thank you for upsetting our American viewers again, Alex. There's no problem with that at all.
They can handle it. They're brave and free. Don't worry.
Jay says, I'm a Rangers and Newcastle supporter since I was 14, but Jers are my number 1. Good. So I take it he means good luck for tomorrow. Don't forget, guys, we are live tomorrow from 7:30. With a 15-minute build-up to the match, then from 7:45, live commentary of the game right here on the Toon Review with me and Billy Bob. Alex will be doing his pundit role again at half-time and full-time. So 7:30, there you go. We will have the game live.
Cantwell versus Joe Linton.
Indeed. And can we beat Saturday's record of 2,400 viewers? That will be interesting. We love the watch-alongs.
If Tonali starts, it will definitely be interesting.
Yeah. Sean says, we're all brothers and sisters on this channel. Absolutely. There's some people made really good friends with each other in the chat since we've started the channel as well. We just need to have a good Toon Review knees up somewhere. Just hire a cruise ship or something, and we'll go on a Toon Review cruise. Susan!
Careful, Paul. You might fall up the stairs again.
You're such a twat. Jackie Nicholson says you won't see Alex for months. If Maxi leaves, he'll be crying into his pillow.
No, I've said it before. If we get a decent fee for him and we sign a decent winger, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's Alex's King the Merciless beard that's created all this. I think you mean Ming Predator, but I'll let you off on that one. Pete Graves spoke to people who are quite close to Maddison, who said that Maddison really, really had his heart set on a move to Newcastle, but Newcastle pulled out of the deal. You know some of Maddison's family as well, Billy, and you said exactly the same.
I was saying it for months. Yeah, it's not a secret in Coventry. He's been wanting to come to Newcastle ever since Callum Wilson joined.
There you go. Jay says, good luck in the Champions League this year, Newcastle fans. You deserve it. You're a magnificent club. Thank you very much, Jay. Note says, so Alex isn't going to start his own channel reviewing raw meat.
Tomahawk steaks.
Yeah, I think you'd have a bad belly for a while if you did things like that. Paul says, TDR will be getting labelled as Jeremy Kyle next. People want to look for issues sometimes. Yeah. Daniil says, Paul, you're a stand-up guy, mate. Thanks, Daniil. As are you. Met Daniil on various occasions. Absolute top man he is. Next, we'll hear people say Daisy left the channel. Oh, God forbid. Can you imagine? That would be on the front page of the bloody papers. Adam says, I love this channel and all you guys, but I'm honestly sick of tuning in and just listening to a rant about negative comment. Ruins the channel. Just please start ignoring the hate. It wasn't hate, Adam. Listen to what we're saying. It had to be addressed because people were making rumours up that needed to be addressed live on the show. Jock says, we all know Paul was jealous of Jack's hair. Absolutely. Couldn't deal with it. You don't get this drama on other channels. Entertaining, if anything. Thank you very much. Paul is staying put. Who else are we going to throw grape pips at? Very funny. Steve says, evening all late arrival here. I've missed some more whinging drama. Yes, just look on Facebook. The only surprise is that people do manage to spend 2+ hours a day making content for our entertainment. I, for one, am grateful. Thank you, mate. And I think I've got the RSS feed sorted now in Patreon as well, Steve. So that's all up and running now. Alex puts his finger up as if, I mean, I didn't have a clue what he was talking about at first, but then I read up on it and found out. Yeah.
We had to go and investigate.
Indeed. Tom says, the Billy on your screen now isn't the original Billy, folks. He's a lookalike. Tom, I can't believe you've given that away. God almighty. Paul is sacking anyone with hair. Pass it on. Well, Alex has got hair, you know. Good evening, Mr. Proudluck. Hope you're well, mate. Whoever said that must have been on the pub. TTR will always be a brilliant channel. Thank you, mate. Much appreciated. Paul so broke he was moonlighting as Bruno's wedding priest.
True.
No, you can talk moonlighting on other bloody football channels. You do have a doppelganger. You do have a doppelganger. There is no doubt about it.
I mean, I was on Mr. Proudluck's channel. Like
no, we're not talking about any
ago,
Newcastle channels. You were on a channel. It wasn't a Newcastle channel. No, you weren't, but your doppelganger was. And he had the same bloody background. You know, when you had the background of the rather nice living room with the piano in the background, he had exactly the same background as you as well. We'll have to get a photo of that. We really will. Let's have a look.
Don't trust you. You're a priest.
My God. Don't start more rumors. Jesus Christ. I would love to get to St. James's one day. Jay, you'll be very welcome, matey, but good luck trying to get a ticket at the moment because it's just impossible. Kevin says, I saw the comments today. Ridiculous. Wish Jack well. Enjoy his channel as well. Exactly. Camaraderie is particularly good as started with chili and lemon. Chili and lemon. James says what Paul is trying to say is they are not looking for a football tricks and skills specialist correspondence. Sad times. I'm too good anyway. Oh, well, there you go. There you go. Right, who's going to be the midfield then tomorrow night, guys? Are we going to see Mr. Tonali make his debut, or do you think he'll be on the bench?
I think it's the same situation as Anthony Gordon. I don't think he's had that much time off to be unfit. So I think there's every chance he starts tomorrow.
I agree.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he is fit. He's had a couple of weeks off, so he should be ready to go. But ready to go and integrating into a new team, it doesn't go hand in hand sometimes, Alex.
I'm gonna risk this. I think. What am I trying to say here? Right. So we've got 4 starting midfielders because Longstaff played at Gateshead. So realistically, you've got Joe Linton, Bruno, Tonali, and Willock. Those are your 4. He's not going to play Anderson. He's already played. He played kind of up front, left wing, wherever he played. So those are the 4. So the question is who sits out of that. Bruno's probably going to start as the 6. Tonali, you would imagine starts. It's out of Joe Linton and Willock in terms of who doesn't start. I don't think Willock's going to start on the right hand side because he's done it. I think Willock's only had 1 good game for us on the right hand side.
Yeah.
And he had improved it, and then Joe Linton typically doesn't play on the right hand side unless he has to. So I think it's going to be Bruno 6, Tonali on the right side of midfield, and then it's a case of who between Joe Linton or Willock plays, unless he's going to go with the funny. One of them is a winger, one of them is a left-sided midfielder, which he might do that. But then who he might do that. But then obviously you've got Gordon, Isak, and Wilson to consider as well. You know, you would imagine. You see, it's a cheeky one because obviously Eddie Howe alluded to the fact. I mean, this was finding some good journalism. They mentioned that Gordon started up front for England. Do you see him there for us? And Eddie Howe talked about it. You know, he knew when he signed him, he could play as a wide forward in midfield up front. He's teased it. So unlike sort of like Anderson obviously went up front when we were just messing about and changing things around. You never know. We might even see someone on the right side. It depends. But up front, obviously Murphy had a funny shoulder. I don't know if he's going to be fully fit yet. So you'd imagine then it's what? Isak, Gordon, Wilson, Miggy. Those are your traditional four, unless he decides to do his funny one of Willock or Joe Linton's going to go left wing as well. But I think Tonali starts. I think it's Joe Linton or Willock that drops out, one of the two. I'd be surprised if it's not that.
Will we see Maxi at all tomorrow, Billy, do you think?
Off the bench, perhaps. He's had a good hour, 70 minutes on Saturday. I can't see him starting. Maybe off the bench.
I mean, Tonali excites me, the possibility of Tonali starting, even though it's just a friendly, because we know tomorrow it's going to be a red-hot atmosphere in there because it's sold out. There's 8,000 Geordies there as well.
That's a lot, by the way.
Absolutely it is. And it's going to be an incredible atmosphere. And yes, it's a friendly, it's a testimonial. I don't think both sides are going to go into that game looking at it as a testimonial. I really don't. You said it yesterday, Billy. It's Scotland against England. It's a Scottish Premier League side against a Champions League Premier League side from England. Rangers will want to go and win this. And because of the way Celtic have dominated that league for quite some time now, apart from obviously the one season, Rangers won it recently. They will want to put a bookmark down as if to say, right, this is the start of our season, to how it's going to go for the rest of it. We want to beat Newcastle United.
There was a precedent for this, of course. We played Rangers at Ibrox, Fally McCoy's testimonial, and it was a blood and thunder game, fantastic game of football, which we ended up winning. I think it'll be the same this year. I think the Rangers managers are under massive pressure this year to basically win that league. If they don't win the league, it's a failure. I think Michael Beale's under massive pressure. I think they will have a better season than they did last year. And I think Brendan Rodgers coming back into Scotland is not going to have it all his own way this year. And Rangers will be wanting to put a big stamp on that with this game against Newcastle. It's not going to be easy for us. I do think we'll win, but I don't think it'll be easy. It'll be a hard game of football. It
will. Yeah. Toon Gamer says Romano reporting now that only minor details need to be sorted for Barnes to sign this week. I said in the news show earlier on that I still think he will be in the States because if everything's agreed, then bang, just get the fee agreed with Leicester, get the medical done, get him out there. He hasn't featured at all for Leicester in pre-season so far, not even on the bench, and he's not injured. So, make of that what you will. I think Leicester have resigned the fact to losing him, but it's just for how much money. Alex says, are you going to sell a cup, Paul? Yes, I am, as is Mr. Stato as well. Billy will be bringing you commentary of the games as well. I think they're going to be televised or online. I would think so.
I think they're on Sky Sports. I'll saw that somewhere.
Are they really? Okay. Well, there you go. Billy will have commentary on the channel. And me and Alex will try and get some reports from the ground this time, if we can get on, if there's any sort of decent signal around St. James's Park. Yeah, good luck with that. Simon says Lascelles was in the photos too. Is he injured? Yes, Lascelles is injured. He got injured back in the last season, didn't he? He's still injured at the moment. A
little calf issue, yeah.
A little, yes.
So I like how all the outlets are saying Jamal Lewis is still injured. He played. You need to update your websites, guys. He literally played the last game. I know he's always been injured, but
yeah. Ted thinks that a weakness with Eddie Howe is that he's too faithful to some of the players, i.e. Dummett, Ritchie, Lascelles, Gillespie, Kraft, etc. I mean,
that's coming from a man whose first name is the same as his middle name. You can put the comment back up, Paul, if you've lost it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm moving on.
I mean, it's the fact that he's prefaced that with it's a problem. I mean, it's not necessarily down.
I mean, the guy just comes on and gives you his opinion, and then you mock his name.
He doesn't give an opinion.
He does
He
not
says that
deserve
Eddie Howe
that.
has a problem. It's not necessarily Eddie Howe's decision. He doesn't control every part of the inner workings of the club, its finances, and he's
But you
the
don't
club
have to
manager.
rip into the guy for being called Ted Theodore.
Well, I mean, he slagged off the manager. He said he's got a problem. He doesn't control player contracts. He can say whether he wants someone in a team or not. That doesn't mean the club are gonna, the club might say, right, well, you're gonna have to use this player again, or we're gonna, can we sell this player? We want to sell this player. We don't want to sell this player. He hasn't got control of everything. That's why they brought in a technical director.
It's harsh on Emil Kraft as well. I mean, Emil Kraft was fantastic for us at the end of the season before last. Got injured last year.
He was.
Would have been a great.
Absolutely snapped.
So,
it's not his fault.
there's no point having a go at Ted Edward Howe.
But sorry, Ted. I'm sure you're a lovely bloke, and we do value your opinion. And your comment.
Actually, you're going to feel a little bit guilty now, Alex, because he's also turned around and said St. Maximin is the better footballer. So he's
now
he's
we
a
are
Maxi
best
fan,
friends, Ted.
and you have just no, it's too late now, mate. It's absolutely too late. You've dug yourself the huge grave.
Can we talk about Rangers anyway?
Yes, absolutely. Go on.
Right. Everybody's kind of saying that they're going to be a bit of a joke. I mean, season before last, they knocked Leipzig out of the Europa League to get to the final against Frankfurt, and they lost against them marginally. They've put up reasonable performances against Napoli and Ajax in the Champions League. Had to play Liverpool, did get spanked in the second leg. They beat Leverkusen 3-0 in a mid-season friendly. They got 92 points in the league in Scotland. So obviously Celtic got 99, but to get 92 points while putting up a decent European campaign off the back of it, they're not a bad side. They play attacking football, 4-2-3-1s generally. Todd Cantwell's fairly decent in attack. They've obviously got Morelos up front. I think that's his name anyway. He's quite well known. And James Tavernier, who of course we know from when he was younger at us. They're not a joke. They're not a joke. And they're a competitive team who likes to win football and are very used to winning football as well. They win most of their matches. And they're very used to playing difficult teams. They've just had a season where they've tried to navigate a very decent Champions League campaign. They're no strangers to having to line up against a tough opponent at all. So it might be a lot harder than some people are anticipating.
Yep.
I don't think Morelos is there anymore, Alex. I think Morelos has moved on.
Has he gone?
What they do have is a fantastically named striker up front called Fashion Sakala, who's got pace to burn. Doesn't know where he's going himself, so defenders have no idea where he's going, and he will be a threat. But what a name, Fashion Sakala.
I was going to show you the squad statistics for last season, but it's stupid because do you remember when we obviously did the match previews for football teams and we would look at their statistics for possession and XG? It's pointless because the entire graphic is Celtic 1, Rangers 2, Celtic 1, Rangers 2. So it's just pointless. So basically, Rangers are the second best in the Scottish League at everything. That's all you need to know. It's pointless having a look at it.
Right, Alex. Susan has just sent me, a 15-second clip of your doppelganger. Now, guys in the chat, we've got over 1,000 of you in the chat viewing this show. Now, tell me that this does not look like our very own Stato.
The pound was a question for you, Luke. I was asking, was Luke Alex from the Isle of Man and the Toon Review twin? Identical facial hair and background? Nope. Well, there you go. At least.
So he was actually asked on that show if he was the twin of the Toon Review's Stato. Now, let me know in the comments, guys. Do you think it's any relation or that Alex has a doppelganger? Because, Ant says it's a chubby Stato. Up the A1, see you all on the next show. Clarky, good evening to you. Jan says, no, he's better looking. So I don't know whether he's saying that the doppelganger's better looking. Kyle says, that's a bit harsh on our boy. Have a word with your dad, Stato. Honestly, crazy stuff coming in here. Forever On says that's the real Stato. Stephen is Rachel's separated the birth. Stephen says that is Stato's carbohydrated eating cousin. Brilliant, absolutely superb. Ash says if Alex shaved, then a DNA test would be needed.
Never.
I just like the way that a channel that we have no association with at all suddenly asked if you were related to Toon Review Stato. I think absolutely brilliant. Jimmy says, I bet he doesn't colour his grey hair, though. Absolutely.
I'm not. I've got my grey hair right on the side, right there.
Mm-hmm.
See?
He didn't look anything like Stato. He didn't look anything like Stato, although he did have a passing resemblance.
He didn't look anything.
No, the Yorkshire Ripper.
Don't say it. Don't say what you were going to say, Billy, because you know we aren't upsetting anybody on here tonight. I know exactly what you were going to say.
The Yorkshire Ripper.
I was going to try and jump in there and say Yorkshire pudding, but no. There you go.
Well, he wouldn't have been much of a bloody criminal if he was called that, would he?
The Yorkshire pudding.
Police are searching for the Yorkshire pudding.
But let's just look at it again, right? Billy, just take a good look. I mean, get your eyes in position.
The pound was a question for you, Luke. I was asking, was Luke Alex from the Isle of Man and the Toon Review twin? Identical facial hair and background? Nope. Well, there you go. At least.
He even answered the question like you would, just with a swift nope. Just straight off the bat.
I mean, he giggled like he seems to know who I am. I'm not quite sure. Is that what football channel was that? Is that like a Spurs channel or something? I
can't remember which team it is, to be honest. But
Alex would be seen there with a quiff like that. He had a proper booth on, didn't he?
Well, he was trying to have the old, Clark Kent gig like Alex has got going there. There's no doubt about that. Spike Milligan, thank you very much for your £20 super chat. Look forward to the Toon Review. Help me get through the banter, the rants and raves, also the heated debates. Keep it up. How are the lads and lasses? Thank you very much. Right, to finish the show off, who is going to be the striker for kickoff?
Either or. Yeah, seriously, I think.
Oh, you can't sit on the fence, Billy. Come on, you've got to go with somebody.
I think both will score goals tomorrow, whether it be Isak or Wilson. I'm going to go for Wilson.
Ooh.
Physical. It's going to be a physical game. I think Eddie Howe will think that Callum Wilson will be more suited to it than Isak is, even if I don't agree with that.
Secret Carver reckons it's a Sunderland channel. I don't think it's a Sunderland channel. Given that they could actually speak English on that video, I don't think it's a Sunderland channel. Alex, who do you think is going to start up front?
I'm going to have a funny guess here, and I'm going to say I don't think Wilson starts. I've just got a hunch that I think he might need gearing up a little bit slower in pre-season based on his injury record, and I think they might maybe wait until he's had another week's training just to be really, really safe with him. Whereas I think with Isak, that's considerably less of a risk. So I think it'll involve. I think Gordon and Isak are two players nailed on to start up front in some capacity. I'm not quite sure where. And then the third spot, it really does depend on whether he wants to do Willock or Joe Linton, the funny experiment, and whether he wants to start Miggy. I'm going to go with Isak, Gordon and Miggy, potentially. I think that's maybe the most likely. And then maybe Wilson to come on as a late sub.
Interesting. By the way, Billy, can you imagine if that doppelganger was like maybe only 2 foot tall? They could recreate the Austin Powers scene, couldn't they? With sort of Alex and Mini-Me.
And just the Wilson thing as well. I don't think it's great to give him his first minutes back.
That under the carpet, Alex. Why don't you?
Indeed, I don't think it's maybe the safest option to give Wilson his first minutes of the new campaign away
to Rangers,
at a testimonial to Rangers in Glasgow. I think that's asking for him to get broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lewis Miley, will he be involved tomorrow? I think he might be. He only played 20 odd minutes.
Oh, that's a fair shout. I only said 4 midfielders. I might have been doing him a disservice there.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, let's do a daft score prediction because we may as well. Billy, what are you thinking?
I think there'll be plenty of goals. I think 3-2 Newcastle.
Well, I've gone 4-2. I think 4-2. Alex?
I think 3-2 is fair, actually.
There's normally plenty goals in these testimonials, isn't there? So
Have we not done the defenders, by the way? Did we just skip the back four?
yeah, because I think it's going to be Trippier, Botman.
I'm going to give you a curveball. I think Ashby starts.
I think he will as well.
Ooh. There is rumours that he is wanted by, I can't remember who it was today that I read on loan. It's a championship side. I can't remember.
I read that as well, but I've also forgotten.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, there's a possibility that he might.
Swansea.
Yes, that's
that was
it. So Swansea may be interested in taking him on loan. I don't know whether he goes out on loan this season. I think he looks very fit, ready to go, and the way the West Ham fans spoke about him, he's a talent, this kid. Martin's gone 3-2 to Rangers because they usually let the team whose testimonial it is win. Yes, they do. But
Eddie Howe does not like to lose.
Well, no, that's very true. But if we're 6-1 up, I can't see us letting Rangers score like 5 goals. We'll see. But that is it for tonight, guys. Don't forget, you can join us live tomorrow night, 7:30, with a 7:45 p.m. kickoff. Join me and Billy for commentary of the game. Alex will be joining us at halftime and full time for his analysis. But join us in the chat. It's online. If you're watching it online, come and switch the commentary off and listen to us. Or if you can't watch the game, then just listen to the commentary with us on the Toon Review. Well, thank you for all the new memberships tonight. And, of course, the Super Chats. Thank you so much for your generosity. It really does help us keep going. And, of course, if you have enjoyed tonight's show, do hit the thumbs up button. And if you're new and like what you see, come and be part of the community. Hit that subscribe button, completely free to do so. And also the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any future videos. But thank you to Alex and Billy for tonight. But thank you to the mods as well. And, of course, yourselves for tuning in. Over 1,000 again. So thank you. Incredible support for the channel. Keep your eye open for another video tomorrow if any breaking news happens. But we'll see you for the next live tomorrow at 7:30. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of the evening, guys. Good night.
How are the lads and lasses?
Come back and check out some green.